Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
A magic beyond anything you could ever imagine.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Sagrera Farms on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Locking down the middle of the day.
You really think that's the best idea?
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
He's quite a piece of work.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Thursday, working towards the weekend. Got Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos, brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. They are underway from the Open Championship across the pond. We'll get you caught up on that a little bit later, but we got more pressing local issues to get to before we do that. Luke Johnson's here in 15 minutes to talk about Alvin Kamara's new deal with the New Orleans Saints. Alvin going to be a Saint for his entire NFL career. At least that's exactly what it looks like at this point, so we'll get Luke's thoughts on that. What college football playoff expansion could learn from the World Cup? We'll get into that in 30 minutes. I've got some vehement disagreements with an ESPN.com piece on that. We'll talk about LSU's running back group entering this season at the top of hour number 2, and excited to have Jay Johnson on the show coming up in an hour and 15 minutes, 2:15. Big day for Tommy White tomorrow. He'll make his Major League Baseball debut alongside Gage Jump. I want to talk about him. They will play Dylan Cruz in the Washington Nationals tomorrow, and it's going to be a big day for LSU baseball, so I want to talk to Jay Johnson about that. Plus, a couple of his transfers are Cape Cod League All-Stars, so I wanted to ask Jay about that as well. And we'll have some fun with some World Cup radio calls coming up in hour number 2. So plenty to get to. Let's crank it up with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
So this time last year, LSU and Nike announced their partnership as part of the Blue Ribbon Elite Athletes program. And we were told that LSU was the first and that there were more coming. South Carolina jumped on board. Clemson jumped on board. Southern Cal jumped on board. There were a few others that joined LSU in partnership with Nike for an NIL program that encompassed all the athletics and was something that had not been done by these national brands previously. It has been done since. But LSU, a year later, is introducing year 2. And there are 11 football players that have been chosen as Nike Blue Ribbon Elite Athletes. It's the biggest class of its kind thus far. Nike and LSU have had a great partnership for a very, very long time, and this is just a part of that. And as I looked through the 11 players that are involved in this deal, it really made a lot of sense. I'm connecting dots in this segment. I'm not reporting facts at all. But I don't think I'm out of bounds in any way, shape, or form when you look at the players they have selected. Now, I'm told this is not some sort of $2 million per player situation here. This is not a 7-figure per player deal. It's an opportunity with a monster brand to attach yourself to it. You can create products. You can use their Instagram platform, their social media platforms to endorse products and grow your personal brand with one of the biggest brands in the world when it comes to sports, and it comes through an iconic brand in LSU athletics, and specifically football. But let's look at the players that have been chosen for this program. When you think about the returning offensive players on this team that are to make the biggest impact, well, the 2 running backs stuck around, Caden Durham and Harlem Berry, they're involved. The tight end is probably the best tight end of the country. He's going to media days next week. Trey'Dez Green, he's involved for a second straight year in this program. Those are really the most impactful offensive playmakers that are coming back on this team. They are involved. When you stick to the offensive side of the ball, I would suggest 3 of the top 5 most impactful transfers are involved in this. You've got Jace Brown, who is the most productive receiver you brought in. He was the all-time leader in sophomore receiving yards at Kansas State, went over 1,000 yards with the Wildcats, had a really, really good run at Kansas State. He's involved here. You've got Jordan Seaton, who's going to be your starting left tackle, who's a big, big name. He's involved here. And then, not someone in the starting lineup. This is interesting to me, but it makes a lot of sense. Huson Longstreet on the offensive side of the ball is involved with this. Sam Levitt is not. Houston Longstreet is. Now, I don't think that suggests that Houston Longstreet is some sort of slam dunk to be a starter. I don't think this is a slight to Sam Levitt. I think they probably gave Sam Levitt some significant guarantees beyond this Nike endorsement, right? But how do you get someone to come in and sit? Houston Longstreet was a 5-star quarterback. Without speaking in certainties, as far as a destination for him in a starting spot, I would be willing to guarantee you he could have gone somewhere and started in the power conferences. A 5-star quarterback that Lincoln Riley identified, brought to USC, played well in mock-up duty, has the measurables, was really good at the Elite 11 campus at high schooler. This guy could have found a landing spot, and he chose to come to LSU and sit. How? Well, things like this certainly help. Attaching yourself to Nike as a second-year college player certainly helps. Having that opportunity to make money through that, attach yourself to that brand, be a part of LSU, like that certainly helps. It's not everything. I don't think Houston Longstreet looked at every option and goes, well, I got to be a part of this Nike deal, so let's do that. But I think it probably helped. I asked myself plenty of times that, hey, like, how would you get 2 extra quarterbacks to come here? How would you get players to come sit? This is part of it. Yeah, playing under Lane Kiffin is absolutely part of it. Yeah, playing for LSU is absolutely part of it. Yes, playing in the SEC is absolutely part of it. I'm confident there's other NIL accommodations for Houston Longstreet. This is not the entirety of the package, but it's interesting because when I look down this list, there are only 2 guys that aren't going to be big-time contributors on this football team. And Houston Longstreet's one of them, and he's in this number. So I thought that was very, very interesting. So you look at the offensive side of the ball, your 2 running backs, your star tight end, what could be your number 1 wide receiver, and the backup quarterback are involved. Now you go to defense. Whit Weeks, gotcha. He's the captain. He's in the middle of the defense. He's a big personality. He's a famous college football player. He's going to media days. Makes sense. He's part of this, right? DJ Pickett was a part of this last year as a freshman. He's going to be part of it again as a sophomore. That's as talented a player as you've brought in the Kiffin era. That's a guy who had a great freshman season. He was named On3's National Defensive Freshman of the Year. Absolutely, part of this deal. Then you go to the portal. The 2 most productive defensive players you brought in, with maybe the exception of Daugherty, are Prince William 9 sacks in the SEC last year on a college football semifinalist, and Ty Benefield, who we think is going to be a star. Absolutely, both of those make a ton of sense. You bring them in. But who's the last piece of this puzzle on defense? We've hit linebacker with Weeks, in the secondary with Benefield, and with Pickett, you got Prince William on the edge. Who's the other piece to this puzzle? Well, it's not TJ Daugherty, not PJ Woodland, not Deshaun Spears. Stephon Keys was second in the SEC in tackles last year. It's not him. Dominic McKinley, former 5-star. Maybe one of the guys you brought in at defensive tackle. Stephylan Green and Malik Blockton from the Power 5. Maybe that was an enticement to bring them in. Nope. Lamar Brown, number 1 player in the nation, comes in and is part of this number. And I think that's part of the deal. Lamar Brown had options. It's fair to say he had options, right? That's a guy who could have gone wherever he wanted to. I think LSU had a foot in the door because he, grew up down the street. But this is another piece to that. Again, I am not suggesting this is the entirety of the puzzle. I'm just suggesting as I look at the list, it starts to make sense why you would put some of these guys forward. And I think there is an indication that, hey, there in some cases it was to lure these guys in. And in some cases, it's a look at the future. When they put DJ Pickett on this last year, that's a long-term deal. We want to keep him involved. LSU would agree to that. I think Nike would agree to that. There's a pretty good chance that DJ Pickett is a high NFL draft pick. Nike's interested in that. And then when you look at Longstreet and Brown, who have never played a snap for LSU, They are very much in the plans for 2027. They are very much in the plans for 2028. Now, those plans get foiled in collegiate athletics all the time. All the time. Every time I attempt to do what I did for 25 years of following college athletics and try to forecast lineups 12 months out, 24 months out, I catch myself and go, I don't know anybody that's going to be on this team in 12 months, much less 24 months. But it does make sense that if you're LSU and you're aligning with Nike and you're looking at guys that you would like to keep between the buoys for 12 months or 24 months, these are two of the guys that very well could be in that number. An impactful defensive front player from the state of Louisiana that everybody wants, and a quarterback. Those are guys you'd like to keep in the fold. So again, these are not monster deals right up front. Here's a ton of cash like the wild, wild west of recruiting from a year ago. It's just a strategic partnership with strategic pieces involved for the betterment of LSU and in turn, a real positive for Nike. Because when I look at this list of 11 players, you're looking at some guys that could be really famous college players on a great team, that could be really famous NFL draft picks, that could be really famous NFL players. And when you get them in the door at this point, you get a leg up. So it just works out for everybody. And it's a great deal that LSU has made this partnership with Nike. I anticipate this will continue to grow as successes happen. You've already seen this go from a limited number of players in every sport to LSU football growing to the biggest number in this program's one-year history. And I don't anticipate any reason why it would slow down. Nike and LSU have always had a great relationship, and this is just furthering that. And I think it's interesting to just kind of dive into what these guys look like on the field and in the program's future. It's a cool deal. You can read about it over at LouisianaSports.net. I've got some opinion up there for free. It's right there on the homepage. We're off and running here on a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Alvin Kamara, going to be a Saint for life. We'll talk to Luke Johnson about that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, swingeasygcbr.com, swingeasygcbr.com. Big golf weekend. The Open Championship is upon us. If you want to mix some golf yourself into the weekend, if you don't have 5 hours to play a round of golf, well, go over to Swing Easy Golf Club. You can get one of those private bays. They've got comfortable seating right there, a great simulator. You can play where they're playing the Open Championship. They're right there across the pond, just outside of London, and you can play the course. Take unlimited mulligans if you want. You can play the entire course in like an hour. It's a great, great way to squeeze in golf quickly in the air conditioning with a cold drink if you'd like, right there at Swing Easy Golf Club. They're on Segan at Perkins. Come with a group, go by yourself, work on the driving range on the simulator, or play the course and card a score. It's a great, great way to mix some golf into your weekend, time efficient and out of the elements that are kind of nasty around here this time of year. It's Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. You can find them online at swingeasygcbr.com, but stop on by Segan at Perkins. It's Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Sagrera Farms brings you our Thursday shows each and every week. Jay Johnson with us in an hour talking about Tommy White's Major League debut. It's just coincidental. He'll be opposing Dylan Cruz, and then you'll have Gage Jump in the dugout with him for the Athletics. Nick Kurtz will also be playing for the Athletics tonight. He was a part of that Wake Forest game, although he didn't play in that game. He was out for an injury, but he was in the dugout for Wake that night, and what was one of the greatest games in College World Series history. We'll walk down memory lane and talk about some of the great things that are going on in professional ranks for LSU baseball coming up in 1 hour. Right now, we'll talk about the Saints. Luke Johnson covers the black and gold for the Advocate, NOLA.com. He's with us on Thursdays. Joins on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Luke, how are you?
I'm just taking solace in the fact that I am the most important guest named Johnson on your show today. So
I didn't even consider that. Did not even consider that, but it's a fairly common name, I'm told. But we're going to take this one very, very seriously, just as we will in an hour. Just a different conversation style. Look, last year at this time, Alvin Kamara was looking for a deal. I absolutely loved the way he handled that negotiation, showing up for work, being there for practice, playing through injury, playing through pain, meeting with the media. I didn't love the deal the Saints gave him. But now we've restructured things once again. So tell us what we need to know about Alvin Kamara's newest contract structure.
Yeah, it's just the main thing you need to know is that you're cutting about $8 million off of the salary cap this year, which is what the Saints were after in the beginning. Which I think I find that kind of like negotiation a little distasteful personally. It's like you agreed to pay the guy the money, and then 1 year happens and you decide you don't want to do it anymore. Not really a huge fan of that, but it's also it's a business, and I get that side of things. But either way, I mean, it all just means Alvin Kamara is going to be back, and I think that is news that the Saints fan base welcomed. Even if Alvin's coming off a down year, he's still one of the best players in franchise history. And I'm sure it's news that the team welcomes too. Just got done talking about this with some of my colleagues, but I think they're clearly a better team with Alvin on the roster, even if he's not the Alvin Kamara that we all got to know in the late 2010s. I think he still elevates what they have. So you can call it a win-win, right? He gets to stay with the Saints. They get a little bit more money back, and the team's better. I think that's it's wins all around.
I want to talk about him and his role in a minute, but let's talk about the money first. You're telling me they're clearing $8 million off the books. Do they plan to use it? What's it for?
I think a lot of the times that they do this stuff, they like to just have the flexibility to add to their roster as needed. And whatever they don't use, they can roll over into next year's cap, which at this stage looks like they're going to have a ton of cap money next year. Even if they sign Chris Olave to a huge extension, they're really, really good shape in the salary cap. It feels weird saying that about this organization, but from a dollars and cents standpoint, I think that to me is it just gives them flexibility. I don't think there's anybody out there who's going to command a ton of money right now. But if they need to make an addition, if they feel, if they go through a week of training camp, they're like, we're a little concerned about Jonas Stanker, or we want to dial up Kenny Moore. They have a little bit more flexibility to do that. And if they don't have to do that, then this money is available next year to them.
Money is good. Obviously, it comes at a cost to a player, and that's obviously Kamara. How do you feel like he's going to handle this mentally and emotionally? He's always been a pretty stand-up guy.
Yeah, obviously he agreed to it. I think the alternative is, he keeps whatever the remainder of his guarantees are, and he's not playing for the Saints anymore. And who knows if somebody's gonna pick him up, or if they do pick him up, what kind of role he's gonna have. He's gonna have to learn a new team and all that stuff. It might not be with a contender. Maybe he doesn't want to do that. I think this is just, sometimes it's just safest to stay with the thing, even if it's going to cost you a little bit. You're still going to be making money this year, and Alvin is not one of those guys who is, living paycheck to paycheck on his NFL salary. He's pretty smart with what he's done. I think just in the end, this is all just, he was true to his word when he said he didn't really want to be anywhere else. And it took a while for them to get to something that worked for both sides. They ultimately got there. And then we'll see what it looks like on the field this year, which is what you're going to ask me about next.
That is what I'm going to ask you about next. Like, what does the role look like, assuming the health of Achan?
Yeah, my best guess is that it's going to be kind of just like on a touch basis, kind of similar to what we saw to Taysom Hill in recent years, right? Some games it's not as much, some games it's more, and in the end it ultimately adds out to 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 touches a game, which I think is good. I think it's good for the Saints and good for Alvin Kamara. I've said it time and time again that in his best years as a pro football player, he was splitting the rock with somebody, Mark Ingram or Latavius Murray or somebody capable. They tried to do that with Jamal Williams. It did not work out. I feel much better about this one working out, even though I felt pretty good about Jamal Williams at the time. And who knows? I think it'd be foolish to think that he's going to go right back to being the player he was when he was 26 years old. But I think if you're not asking him to go bang between the tackles 15 to 20 times a game, and you can use them more in spurts and in specific situations that are tailored to his best traits. I just don't think that we're going to see the same Alvin we saw last year, which is like an extremely diminished version of him. It was like by far his worst year as a pro last year. I mean, career low in games played, career low in average per touch, average per carry. I think he only had one touchdown. It was like week 1 or 2. It was not a good year, but I think if we're getting back to kind of basics with him, where you're using him in specific situations, I think it will be beneficial for him and the Saints.
What do we think about a confidence level in the Saints' ability to run the ball, Kamara, Achan, whatever's behind them, and then right now, what is a healthy offensive line? We know that's always subject to change.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like it to be high. I just think that their passing attack is going to keep teams honest in a way that it hasn't for years. Just because I really like the weapons they have, and I believe in Tyler Shuck. And then I really like the offensive line they've assembled. If your weak link is Cesar Ruiz, there's been times when Ruiz is like an above average starter. He's never been a great starter, but he's been above average. If he can get to average to above average on a week in, week out basis, like you're feeling really good about that line. It wasn't pretty last year, but Kellen Moore's called a lot of explosive rushing offenses in the NFL. Go look at any of his top 10 offenses. They all have top 10 rushing offenses. I just I'd like to think it can work, but it's outside of the Clint Kubiak year, they haven't really ran the ball effectively in a long time. So I just kind of got to see it to believe it, but I do think all the pieces are there that it can be effective and maybe even good.
Last thing here, and Luke Johnson's our guest with The Advocate, NOLA.com. I often say that while fans are aware of the business aspect of sports, they don't really care how much the players make. They don't really want to hear from the front office about what the tough decisions and all that kind of stuff. They just like to watch the games and they love the players. With Cam Jordan and Kamara, ultimately, we believe finishing as Saints, starting and finishing as Saints. Like, what does that mean for their legacy and the way that they've handled the last couple of years? Ultimately, be in back in black and gold. Like, what is that going to ultimately mean to the city?
I mean, look, I think it means a whole lot. You know, I'd have a hard time quantifying that, but like, and it's not just to the city, right? To the city, it's like to a stratospheric level. Like, these guys are icons here, and for different reasons, right? Like Alvin has been like player or like fan favorite from like day one since he took over as a rookie, and like his character, his demeanor just fits the city so well. He's flashy. It's just like everything about Alvin is just like perfect for New Orleans. Cam's a different story. Right. It's like the work he does in the community, the kind of like grit and grind that he plays with and plays with at a high level, like that just means so much here. But then when you think about it from just like a historical perspective in league, like, man, how many running backs last 10 years with the team nowadays? Like, it just does not happen. Now, you look at the best running backs in football right now: Christian McCaffrey, 2 teams; Saquon Barkley, 2 teams; Derrick Henry, 2 teams. You know, it does not happen. For this would be Alvin Kamara's 10th season. It just doesn't happen, and it happens even less when you're talking about 16 seasons in one place as a defensive end. You know, a guy who's never misses time. Like, what they're doing historically, especially in the modern era of football. Obviously, it takes 2 to tango there. The Saints have been willing to keep him along for that amount of time at healthy salaries. What you're seeing right now is rare. It's exceptionally rare. So just enjoy it while it lasts this year.
That's extremely well put, well said, and a very, very cool thing for those that love the black and gold. Well, Luke, next week we'll be in Tampa for SEC Media Days. LSU Day is Thursday, so I will give you the day off next week. But when we talk next in 2 weeks, Saints will be on the practice field. Looking forward to it.
Yep, same here. Go get some Burns Steakhouse while you're in Tampa, my man.
We are literally going to do that, so we're looking forward to it.
Yes. Okay. All right. I'll see you, man.
Sounds good. That is Luke Johnson with NOLA.com and The Advocate. Let me remind you about my friends over at Marucci. You can go take a tour over at Marucci. Awesome opportunity to do that, and it can tell you how they became the official bat of Major League Baseball. 22 years after they were just carving a bat in a backyard shed, the best in the world use Marucci. You watch the MLB All-Star Game, you watch the Home Run Derby, you crank it up tomorrow when Tommy White makes his MLB debut. You'll see the best pros in the world swinging Marucci, and it started right here in Baton Rouge. You can learn that story by taking a tour. You can see where they make 1,200 bats a day. You can see where they shave them down and they stain them, and they can send them off to the Major League Baseball players. It's such a cool facility, such a cool story, and it's right here in Baton Rouge. So if you're looking for something to do with your kiddos out of school for the summer, you just want to go check it out. Go see it over at Marucci. You can buy tickets at MarucciSports.com. That's MarucciSports.com. And when you take that tour, you can get discounts over in the Hitter's House where you can go take some swings. It's all there, courtesy of our friends at Marucci. You know, from my perspective with Kamara and the Saints, it's a very, very cool story with what Cam Jordan and Kamara have done. And I understand where Luke's coming from with the word he used was distasteful. He did not like the way that the Saints agreed to the contract with Kamara and then came back a year later and went, I don't really like that. Let's find a way to figure this out. And I get that. I really do. But my contention has always been that you need to be in it to win championships. You need to be in it to do what's best. And like lifetime achievement awards and paying guys for what they did 5 and 7 years ago is just not great. And that's why I did not like the Kamara contract that they gave out last year. I looked at his production. I looked at what he looked like on the field. And I also, this is not Kamara's fault, I looked at the state of the team, where they were in the standing of the NFL, and I'm going, paying a 29-year-old running back this kind of money is just not a great idea. And it wasn't then, and it's not now. And so, yeah, I understand what the Saints were doing. And I, once again, as I did last year, applaud Kamara for his professionalism in going through this. He was a pro going through the contract extension last time, And it appears he's handling this part like a pro too. They kind of strong-armed him a little bit, and they're like, well, we don't have to pay this whole thing. We'll pay the guaranteed money, and then we'll move on. And that's just part of it. And as I said, fans don't really care about that. They care about the players. They care about the scoreboard. And so Alvin Kamara once again deserves a big pat on the back, and I think is a guy that'll just be as beloved a player as the Saints have had. Like, obviously, Breeze accomplished more and is a greater player in the pantheon of the NFL, but Kamara, as far as Luke was talking about, the production, the personality, the longevity, being with one team, it's a great, great story, and I'm thrilled for the Saints. And look, the other side of this, which everyone wants to talk about the Kamara piece to it, but the other side of it is clearing those books up, and that is an exciting thing for the Saints to finally be in a position after the season is done to go get it, to go get some dudes. You can't build a team through free agency, but you can change one, and that's the opportunity that they'll have coming up after the season with the flexibility they've given themselves from a payroll perspective, and this is just part of that as well. So it's good news for everybody involved except probably Alvin Kamara, but he does get to stay with the New Orleans Saints, which obviously was important to him as he made that decision to agree to the deal. So Alvin Kamara going to be a Saint for life. Cam Jordan going to be a Saint for life, and I know there are a lot of people out there listening in black and gold that are fired up about that. Keep chugging along here on a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Speaking of beef, I got some beef with an ESPN.com article that talked about the World Cup and the college football playoff. We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Online at boudreauxelectrical.com. That's boudreauxelectrical.com. It is storm season, y'all. Don't think about the generator that you wish you had in a hot, dark house. We've all been there. Whether it's the afternoon thunderstorm that rips through here and knocks out your power for 4 hours, or it's the hurricane that knocks it out for 4 days. We've all been there. Proactive thinking. Call Neil and Melissa Boudreaux. They've been at this for 40 years. You call them, you get a local on the phone. You get a quote from a local. You get the installation from a local team, and then they can monitor your generator 24/7. So if there's a mechanical issue, a local team comes and fixes it. So that when your power goes off, that Generac home standby generator is ready to power on. It's time to think about it now. It's been quiet for a couple of years. It's quiet right now. We like that. I hope it's quiet for another decade. But is that reality? Probably not. Get that Generac home standby generator installed by calling the folks at Boudreaux's Electrical at 985-397-1562 or the Gonzales location, 225-300-9389. I'll also give you the easy way every single day. That's boudreauxelectrical.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Hey everybody, Drew Brees here. Over the years, I've learned that the best teams are built on trust, preparation, and doing things the right way. That's one of the reasons I'm excited to announce that the Breeze Dream Foundation and I are partnering with Parish Construction and Roofing. Together, we are committed to helping families prepare for hurricane season. That's why Parish Construction and Roofing, the Breeze Dream Foundation, and WAFB are partnering to provide one capital area family with a brand new fortified roof. Visit WAFB.com/contest to enter the giveaway and view official rules and eligibility requirements. Because stronger homes build stronger communities.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call. at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinecenterla.com.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Y'all have heard me talk about Sagrera Farms for a couple years now, and so you know what I'm talking about when I mention Sean Sagrera and Sagrera Farms. I'm going to give you Sean's cell phone number at the end of this read, so if you've always heard me talk about it and think this is the time I want to make that call, get your phone ready to get Sean's number. But you know that you're going to get prime Angus beef from Sean Sagrera and Sagrera Farms, some of the best beef in the country, in some cases double the standard of prime, right? And it changes the way that you eat at home. Ground beef, burgers, unbelievable. My wife won't eat another burger if I just go get beef from around the corner. It's got to be Sagrera Farms. The steaks, I love a great steak, and I really don't like a not-so-good steak. And you've all gone and picked up that ribeye, picked up that strip, picked up that filet, and you cooked it at home, and you went, that didn't do it. That'll never happen if you get Sagrera Farms because you're guaranteed prime Angus beef. Sean is a master at this craft. Every single cow is a 3-year journey. Age 45 days, and the marbling, you can see it when you pick up that piece of beef. So call Sean to get that whole cow. Call Sean to get that half a cow. Call Sean to get that quarter of a cow. Split it with some people in your family or friend group. It will change the way you eat at home. He's at 225-719-1723. It's 225-719-1723. It's Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. All right, I like Bill Connolly's stuff at ESPN.com. I really do. I think that the objective data he puts forth is really interesting to read. It's not gospel, but it's really interesting, especially when you get into some of the playoff games and he goes through some of the metrics that teams have. I just find it to be fascinating to read, and I always enjoy that kind of stuff. And so when I saw his name pop up on ESPN.com's NCAA football homepage today, I was like, all right, well, I'll give this a read. And it was about the World Cup expansion, which the World Cup, for those that don't know, which I didn't, it went from 32 to 48 this year. And he is advocating for the college football playoff to look at this model and go, look, this works. This is great. And some of the examples that he cites are obviously Cape Verde and Argentina, where Cape Verde played Argentina off its feet for almost 90 minutes, and Argentina struck late for a goal. But it gave you that amazing Cinderella moment. And that isn't going to happen if you shrink the playoff down. It can only happen if you include more teams. And he talks about St. Peter's making a dream run in the NCAA basketball tournament, and he talks about what could be possible for college football if you include more teams. And as he writes, it's all about representation, he says. And as he continues in that graph, he says about 36 European teams are in the 48-team field if you do it the way that college football is going to do it, with the Big Ten and SEC monopolizing everything. And he doesn't think that's best. It's best to include the whole world in the World Cup. It's best to include every conference in the college football playoff. So you got Panama and Uzbekistan getting into the playoff, not because they can beat France, not because they can beat Argentina, but because they beat their peers and got in. And he thinks that's a good thing. And he continues to write that, yes, there will be blowouts, like Germany beat Curacao 7-1, but you will also get those indelible moments. So you take the trade-off. You're going to get some blowouts if you let some lesser teams in, but you get those incredible moments. And this is where he completely loses me. Completely loses me. He says, if we had let all the conference champions in instead of the big conference at-larges with Duke and Boise, we would have had Duke, Boise State, Western Michigan, and Kennesaw State in the college football playoff. His argument for this, because you're all rolling your eyes like I did, his argument for this is that Virginia, Houston, Georgia Tech, and Iowa, who would be additional at-larges in last year's field, would have had a combined 0.8% chance to win the national championship. So less than 1% for Virginia, Houston, Georgia Tech, and Iowa, if you let them in. From the big conferences, at-large bids, well, if you just let the conference champions in from the G5, you only go down from 0.08 to 0.01. It's still less than 1%. Just let Kennesaw State in. Bill, I like reading your stuff. This ain't it. There is not anybody out there that needs to watch Kennesaw State play Oklahoma. There's nobody out there that needs to see Kennesaw State play Indiana. Nobody needs to watch Western Michigan play Bama. We watch it every single September. It's streaming on ESPN Plus, and it's 35-0 at halftime. I'm thrilled that Western Michigan gets to field a football team and the alums can go watch their guys play in the fall. I never want to see it on my television one time ever. I don't want to see him play in a MAC game. I don't want to see him play in Alabama, and I certainly do not want to see them playing in the college football playoff. Football is not like basketball. Football is not like baseball. In those college sports that we have here, anybody can beat anybody in baseball. Every single year we go into the box on a Tuesday and watch Nichols or Northwestern beat LSU by 3 runs. It happens every single year. It can happen. It's worth giving those guys an opportunity. Kent State gets to the College World Series. Murray State gets to the College World Series. Coastal Carolina wins the College World Series. Fresno State wins the College World Series. It can happen. In basketball, sure, Kansas can shoot 3 out of 24 from deep on that day, and you can have somebody show up and beat them. C.J. McCollum at Lehigh can go beat Duke. We saw Bucknell beat. It happens every year. Okay, it's a 64-team tournament. That's fine. It's basketball. In soccer, oftentimes the games are 2-0, 2-1, 1-0. That inherently creates variability in your winner, and it's easier to stay competitive when the scores don't get as high. There's just not as much difference. In football, the big, huge, strong dudes from Bama run into the not very big, not very strong little dudes from Kennesaw State 180 times in a row. There's no upset in that. No one needs to see that. Absolutely not. I don't even need to see the 24-team playoff everybody's talking about to let the 8-4 team from the Big Ten in. You didn't take care of your business for 12 weeks. I don't need you to show up in December. I like the cutoff being 10-2. I'll give you a couple mulligans. I've talked about that all the time. I liked expanding from 4 up. I liked expanding to 8. I'm not as wild about to 12. I'm not as wild about 16. But I like keeping more teams engaged. I don't need 8-4 teams engaged. Your ship sailed. I don't need it at just 2. I don't need it at just 4. 12 is good. 16 is a little much. 24, absolutely not. I don't need to be rewarding teams that couldn't take care of their business for a 12-week regular season. And I certainly don't need to deal with teams who, while Auburn and LSU and Texas are button heads with Georgia and Tennessee and Florida and South Carolina, they're playing Rice. That's not, I don't need that. You want to expand the World Cup every 4 years, have a big celebration, and then get down to the big boys at the end? I don't care. I'm not going to watch it anyway. But I'm invested in college football here, and there is no sense in letting Kennesaw State and Western Michigan come in here and play actual Michigan. We watch it every September, and we don't even need to watch that anymore. I love Bill Connolly. He has awesome stuff on ESPN.com. This one is not my speed. If you want to agree, maybe you agree with me, maybe you agree with Bill Connolly, you can read it right there on the college football page on ESPN.com. Step aside. Jay Johnson's going to be with us coming up in 30 minutes. We're going to talk to Jay about Tommy White's Major League debut, which is coming at you tomorrow night. Gage Jump will be on the field with him. I don't think he's starting in the game, but he's out there. Dylan Cruz will be in the opposing outfield with Washington. It's the A's in Washington, so that's very, very cool. And I just want to talk to Jay about the cool stuff that's going on in Major League Baseball with a lot of guys from his program here at LSU. And then we'll also get a little thumbnail from Jay on the two guys that he's got that are Cape Cod League All-Stars, which is a great thing. So I know that Jay's done a huge media tour the last 3 days talking about that signing class, and you've probably heard him talk about it. You've certainly heard me talk about it, so we're not going to rehash that portion of last weekend. I want to look at some of the cool things from the past and then a couple of guys who are doing some really cool things presently up on the Cape. So we'll do that with Jay coming up at 1:15. Talk some LSU football at the top of hour number 2. When we come back, we'll close out hour number 1 next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. You heard that right, 3 decades remodeling, redesigning bathrooms and closets. If you've got one of those big 90s-style jacuzzis tubs that was built and has those huge jets in it and it's really tall and you never get in it because, 1, you don't take baths, or 2, it doesn't work anymore because it's 30 years old, well, it's taking up a lot of space, right? Take it out. Look at all that space you would free up in your bathroom if you took out that big old jacuzzi tub. David Duvall, One Bath and Closets, happy to take that out and put a glass walk-in shower in. It changes the complete aesthetic of your bathroom, changes the functionality of your bathroom too, and it adds a little value to your home in the meantime. He is happy to help you with that. It doesn't cost anything to have that free consultation with David. Go to onebathandclosets.com and then apply for that free consultation. If you're looking at payment plans, he's got them. 0% financing for 18 months. It's David Duvall in One Bath and Closets. He'll do it right the first time and leave the competition behind. Find him online at onebathandclosets.com.
My name's Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net. Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
My friend Jonathan Carbo in the Highland Insurance Group, online at highlandig.com, highlandig.com. It is storm season, so if you're looking for someone to review your property insurance, the Highland Insurance Group is happy to do that for you. Make sure your building valuation is proper. Make sure your deductible is exactly what you're looking for. Make sure you're not going to face any co-insurance penalties if you are underinsured. And make sure that you got everything that you need covered. It's something that a lot of folks necessarily look at. They may just look at the price. Yeah, just look at the price. Do you know exactly what you're covered for? The Howard Insurance Group can get a second set of eyeballs on your property and casualty insurance, and they're always happy to help you out with benefits as well. If you got a group health care plan that you're not happy with your business, whether it's premium or just the coverage that's allowed, let the Howard Insurance Group take a look at that. They're online at highlandig.com, highlandig.com. All right, the Open Championship takes on a lot of different shapes and sizes. This one is going to be one that's kind of my speed. I know there are a lot of people that love it when it's dark and gloomy and raining and they got to deal with the wind and elements and all that kind of stuff. I find that to be kind of fluky. You're trying to keep your gloves dry and the caddies are running around with the umbrellas, and some people love it. It's just not my favorite thing. What they've got at this event this weekend, and based on the forecast at Birkdale, is a very, very, very dry, crusty golf course where balls are going to be running all over the place. It's not going to be as windy as they would like, but the ball's just going to be running all over the place, and I think that's fascinating. We don't really get that a lot here in the States, and I think it's going to be interesting to watch these guys play. It's been a fascinating day of golf. I'm looking at the leaderboard thus far. Jackson Suber made eagle on 18. He is 2 shots clear and will go into day 2 with the solo lead after shooting a 6-under par round of 64. Sungjae M, who hasn't been playing that great lately, shot 4 under. He's in there with Daniel Brown, who was actually the leader a couple of years ago after one round. But it's not a loaded leaderboard of superstars right there at the top. You're looking at Thomas Dietrich. He's tied at 3 under with Robert McIntyre, who played at McNeese down the road in Lake Charles. Francesco Molinari, Open champion, shows up with a 3 under. He's joined by Alex Smalley. Interesting name here. Tied 4th, Bryson DeChambeau, who has been awful at Open Championships. He tries to bring his goofy little scientific mind into the Open Championship with his single-length irons and trying to do his clock in the backswing and make sure he's got everything dialed in. And the Open Championship doesn't call for that. You got to be creative. You got to use slopes. You got to hit different clubs and shots you don't practice. And Bryson usually terrible at that. And he's missed the cut at all 3 majors this year. And all of a sudden he pops up and shoots a 3 under. I think he's going to eject at some point and shoot an awful number. We'll see if that happens or not. I'm pulling for Colin Morikawa. He's on the 18th hole right now. He's my pick in golf this weekend. He's 3 under par. Cam Young, 3 under par. Henrik Stenson goes out and shoots 2 under tonight out of the live ashes there. But still, some of the big names are lurking and very much in the mix. Scotty Scheffler is 2 under par. He's done, so that's a name absolutely to watch. Tommy Fleetwood, playing like 4 miles from where he was born, is 1 under. John Rahm, 1 under as well. And I'll tell you this. If you have never in your life felt like Rory McIlroy on a golf course, never, you may have today, because I watched Rory earlier today on consecutive holes miss 3 putts from inside 5 feet. 3 putts from inside 5 feet. And the third time he missed it, he nearly threw his putter in the air. It like came off out of his hands and he had to catch it before it hit the ground. He was looking like Joe amateur golfer, Joe weekend golfer, in terms of the putts he was missing, because we all hack it all over the place, play hockey around the cup from 5 feet. I do it. You do it. We all do it. He was doing that, and it was ticking him off. And that's the way we feel just about every time we go play golf. So if you've never felt like Rory because you can't blast it 330 and you've never won the Masters back-to-back and you don't have a great short game touch or the ability to hit a 7-iron 230 yards, you felt like Rory today because he couldn't make it from inside 5 feet. Not once. It wasn't like, oh, he missed a short putt. Nope, 3 holes in a row. Couldn't get it in the hole. And it's been a tough go for Rory as of this point today. So they're still playing. They play for like 13 hours in this daylight in Europe. It's fascinating. But it is a dusty, crusty golf course, and that's exactly the way that they want it. I don't think they'll water the fairways the rest of the week. They certainly water the greens to keep those alive, and they'll cut them down as the weekend goes to kind of firm those up and quicken those up. But these fairways are going to be ripping for the rest of the weekend. It should make for some very, very interesting golf. I've got a feeling the top of the leaderboard, Jackson Suber, Sungjae M, and Daniel Brown, not going to win this golf tournament. I've got a feeling the cream might rise to the top, and I think that we'd all like to see a star emerge, whether it's Scheffler or Morikawa winning his third major, second Open championship. I can't have the Live boys winning. No Hatton, no Rahm, no Bryson, none of that. Can't have it. But it's going to be really interesting to watch these guys play this golf course for the next couple of days. Incidentally, my crew, wife and 2 kids, are hitting the road for the beach tomorrow with my wife's family since I'm going to media days on Sunday. Not going to be able to make that trip, which does bum me out. But what doesn't bum me out is that I'm going to be home by myself watching golf without 2 kids running all over the place demanding I put on Blippi on the TV. So that is a positive in the Palmer house. We'll be watching a little golf before we take off for Tampa on Sunday. That's it for hour number 1. If you missed any of it, catch it on demand. We're brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. We'll come back, talk some LSU football. Jay Johnson in 20 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Always love telling you about my friends over at Auctioner, and this time of year, they want to make sure you're aware that heat stroke is significant risk. It's serious stuff down here this time of year, and you've got to make sure that you hydrate. It's something that can be very, very detrimental to young athletes, and there are some things you can do to help prevent those heat strokes, whether it's wear loose and breathable gear, work out in the early morning hours or at late in the evening if you can. Drink water. Make sure you're constantly drinking water, and if you do stay out more than an hour, mix in those electrolyte drinks, but make sure they're low in sugar. Skip alcohol. That can dehydrate you really, really quickly. Use sunscreen, sunglasses. That's not just to protect you from UV. It also cools you off as well. Auctioner wants you to be aware of all that. Know your limits. If you feel off, make sure you stop. If you need your nearest urgent care, check them out online at auctioner.org/UC.
Raising Cane's is honoring Chuck Norris on National Chicken Finger Day. For every box combo sold on July 27th, Cane's is donating $1 to Chuck's Foundation, Kickstart Kids.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Today marked the first public appearance for LeBron James since he decided to leave the Lakers a little more than 2 weeks ago. During his appearance at FanFest in New York City, the NBA free agent acknowledged the ongoing chatter about his future without revealing where he plans to continue his career. ESPN's Shams Charania.
I don't know if I'm holding my breath for an announcement this week, but I think as we get into next week, I do think this process is getting closer and closer to the end here. LeBron James has all the information that he needs to make a decision. All the GMs, the owners, the president, they've all made their pitch through Rich Paul's agent.
Shams on the Pat McAfee Show, leading LeBron contenders, Cavaliers, Heat, 76ers, Warriors, Timberwolves. The NBA is investigating the 4-year, $64 million deal between Gary Trent Jr. and the Bucks for possible salary cap circumvention. Righty Chase Burns, one of the best young pitchers in all of baseball, agreed with the Reds on a 7-year, $105 million extension. Jackson Suber has the lead at the Open Championship at 5 under. Bryson DeChambeau and Colin Morikawa are 2 back. Scotty Scheffler is 3 off the lead.
If you run a small business, you've got to try Gusto. Get unlimited payroll runs and get your payroll taxes filed automatically. Offer health insurance, 401k, and more. Get started for free at gusto.com.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
A magic beyond anything you could ever imagine.
You are now listening to the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Locking down the middle of the day.
You really think that's the best idea?
Live from the Raising Cane's studio, this is Hunt Palmer.
It's quite a piece of work.
Hour 2, Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're brought to you by Sagrera Farms, Premium Angus Beef. Jay Johnson in 15 minutes talking pro Tiger baseball. We'll also do a little bit of, we'll have some fun coming up in 30 minutes. I'll just leave it at that. What has not been fun at all is watching LSU attempt to run the football the last 2 years. I am going to talk about this a billion times in the month of August because I just think it is such a massive talking point. Now, let me be clear. My attitude about this entering this football season is different than entering last football season. I thought last year LSU still might not be great running the ball. And they might not be great running the ball this year, but they're damn sure going to be better. And they have to be. Listen to these numbers. This is mortifying. Last year, 6 teams in the nation, in the FBS, ran the ball fewer times per game than LSU. 6. LSU finished the year 114th nationally in yards per carry. LSU, 114th in yards per carry. It's just unfathomable that the running game got to that point. Now, you can determine how much of the pie you want to give to each reason. The offensive line wasn't good. Well, why wasn't the offensive line good? Bad evaluation, bad coaching, bad development, bad identification of talent, bad scheme. You can look at the offensive coordinator and say he didn't commit to the run or he didn't have an opportunity to run the ball. You can look at the quarterback play and say, well, you had a hurt quarterback, so you couldn't get the ball down the field, and then defenses crept up, and you can say that, well, you were losing a lot, so you had to throw the, like, there's 100 reasons you could give. The fact of the matter is, I don't care why. I just know that it was awful. I would care why if that coaching staff was still here. They're not. So I don't care why. I just know it was terrible. They have got to get the running game fixed in a hurry. Now, Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss Jr. could run the football at Notre Dame. Last year, Ole Miss was 4th in the country in rushing touchdowns. In 2023, they led the SEC in rushing attempts. They're committed to it, and that's the first step in being a good running team. The first step is saying, hey, we're going to run the ball. And I have no reason to believe that Lane Kiffin will not say that. There was, at one point, a thought about Lane Kiffin that he just loved to sling it all over the place. It was never really true, but those were the highlight plays. The fact is he wants to run the ball. Now I think everyone realizes that. And certainly those here in Baton Rouge realize that. He wants to run the football. And I think LSU has the backs to do that. I don't think there is a back on LSU's team that's as good as Kewan Lacey. I hope they prove me wrong. My opinion is they don't have a back that good. I think they have backs plenty good enough to run the ball in the Southeastern Conference. 2 years ago, Caden Durham emerged against South Carolina in one hell of a game out in Columbia. And he's led LSU in rushing in back-to-back seasons. I don't know that he's been completely healthy for much of the 2 years. We know 2 years ago he had the dislocated toe that had a metal insert in his cleat, and I just don't know how healthy he's been. But he's got a low center of gravity. He's got good speed. He probably doesn't have the speed that I thought he had coming out of Duncanville. He was just a big play machine for that incredible high school program. But he's got good enough speed to hit home runs. He's also made 44 catches in 2 seasons. He took a swing pass, 71 yards for a score against South Alabama. Like, he's got the ability to be a good player. And Harlem Berry showed some flashes last year. He played well in the second half against Ole Miss. He played well in the first half against A&M. They never gave him the ball in the second half. He busted for a 43-yard highlight run against Louisiana Tech where he spun out of a tackle and cut back and outraced people to the corner. He's got the goods. He was the number 1 prep running back in the country. And yeah, it's a big step up playing for St. Martin's and little 1A New Orleans football and playing in the SEC. It's a big step up. But he's put on a little bit of weight, and I think he's got the ability, the vision, the burst to be a really good back. And y'all know at this point how I feel about Dylan Jones and what he did in the spring. It would be a subjective statement for me to say he had a strong spring, but also he got more reps as time went on with the first team. Kiffin lauded him in press conferences. And as we started to watch the running backs go through drills late in spring, he was consistently going first through those drills. He's 5'11", 210, which is 25 pounds heavier than Berry. He's 3 inches taller than Durham. So he's the biggest back on the roster. And it's not like he came out of nowhere. He was the number 6 running back in the country, according to ESPN, coming out of high school. And after a redshirt season with Wisconsin, he was the starter last year. Against Michigan, he ran for 67 yards and a touchdown. Iowa had a really good defense last year, ran for 69 yards on them, but a foot injury cost him the last 5 games of the season. Those 3 guys are good enough to run the football in the Southeastern Conference. Jones is big and physical and has started for Wisconsin. Durham has led LSU in rushing for 2 years. He's had great games at LSU. Harlem Berry was the number 1 prep back in the country. He's now a sophomore. He's put on some weight. Like, those guys are good enough. You've got some other guys. Rod Gainey was a 3-star prep back. He played at Charlotte last year. Racine Guillory played at Utah last year. He reclassified and is a guy that was a 4-star recruit before he reclassified and is now supposed to be a freshman in college, but he's in his second year. I think they've got the talent, and I like the coach. I think Kevin Smith does a good job. It's just a matter of getting those guys in position to make plays. And look, nobody was beating down the door to get Quinshon Judkins out of high school. And Ole Miss got him, and he became a star. And Kewan Lacey played at Missouri and was a non-factor. So it's not like they were just consistently recruiting Leonard Fournette and Jeremy Hill back-to-back in Oxford, and that's why they were running the rock. The scheme has a lot to do with it. And these guys are now in that scheme. Now, here's my take on the running back position. Y'all know this by now. I think Dylan Jones is the best back that they've got on this team. I think if you made me pick right now, he would be my pick to lead the team in rushing. Would I be fall on the floor stunned if Harlem Berry led the team in rushing? I would not. But I think Dylan Jones' body type lends itself to running between the tackles 14 times in the Southeastern Conference more than Berry's. Berry's 190 pounds. I want Harlem Berry to touch the ball 10 times in every game. I think there are games where I'll want him to touch it 18 times. That was the case against A&M last year, I can promise you. But I think Jones is kind of the leader right now. Kiffin's made one thing very, very clear. They have a ton of trust in their evaluation. Whether you got 5 stars next to your name or 2 stars next to your game, they trust their evaluation. And I think Dylan Jones has pushed forward. Now, you're not going to get through an SEC season with one guy. You need multiple backs. And I think that all 3 of these guys are going to get carries, going to get touches. And I truly believe LSU is going to run the football. I think Braylon Moore can help you run the football. I think Bo Bordelon has got some traits that will help you run the football. I know Aluba is massive and can help you run the football. Jordan Seaton's got to get better. Weston Davis has got to get better in the running game. And I don't mean to tell you that Bo Bordelon's a better player than Jordan Seaton. That's not the point. But Jordan Seaton was not a great run blocker at Colorado, where they did not take running the ball seriously. Certainly not with Shedeur at quarterback. They were chucking it all over the yard. But he's also lost some weight. He's got to get better on the physical side of things. But with the tempo, with the commitment that Kiffin and Weiss have to running the football, and with the horses they've got at running back, I think that they're going to run the ball. I predict that LSU will finish in the top 5 in the SEC in rushing. Top 5 in the SEC. I'm not telling you top 5 in the nation. I'm not telling you like Ole Miss last year led the nation in rushing touchdowns that they're going to be some juggernaut on the ground. And I don't think anybody's winning the Heisman Trophy from LSU's running back crew. But I do believe they're going to commit to it. They've got the dudes to do it, and they will run the football this year. If they don't, you got problems. But Leavitt's also going to help with the running game. I think he's going to run a little bit. Maybe not as much as his first year at Arizona State, because you've got a guy that's got some injuries, and you don't need to do that. I guess with Scadaboo, you didn't either, but he did run a lot. I am comfortable telling you that I think LSU is going to be a very, very good running football team, and that is going to itself transform LSU's offense from the unmitigated disaster it has been on the ground the last 2 years. I saw it coming Jaden's last year when they could not run the ball with the running backs in that Heisman year. They could not. I mean, Diggs was okay. They just didn't run it a lot. And then it reared its ugly head once Jaden left, and you had Nussmeier back there who couldn't run the ball, and then you went to Van Buren, and by that time the offense was shot, and there was no confidence in the whole group. But it's been awful. It cannot continue to be awful. They've got to find a way to run the ball. I think they will. Hopefully I'm not proven wrong. We'll continue to churn through our offensive depth chart. We've gone through every single position on offense, started with center, then went out to guard, tackle, tight end, wide receiver, quarterback, and running back. We have hit them all on the offensive end. If you want to hear those position by position, you can go check it out at Hunt on LSU, wherever you find your podcast, of course, on YouTube as well. You can read about it on LouisianaSports.net. We'll start with defense coming up tomorrow, and we'll continue to churn through LSU's defense when we get to Tampa next week for SEC Media Days. But looking forward to getting over there and have enjoyed getting back into the swing of things with football, going through our in-depth chart series. So, again, check that out on demand. Hunt on LSU and over at LouisianaSports.net. Thursday show is brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Jay Johnson next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Online at FabryChevrolet.com. That is FabryChevrolet.com. Every car that is on the lot is online at FabryChevrolet.com. Fabry family's been at this for 35 years, y'all. The family has built a name for itself based on customer service. Service to this community that means so much to that family. If you've had uncomfortable interactions, experiences on a car lot, you're not alone. That happens. Pushy salespeople trying to take advantage of you, saying things you don't really understand, trying to upsell you on different types of things after the sale's complete. That's not going to happen to you at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. It's just not in the Fabry family DNA. They're going to take care of you. They're going to help you get behind the wheel of a new vehicle, whether it's an SUV like the Chevy Suburban or Tahoe, maybe it's the GMC Yukon or Denali, maybe it's a truck, GMC Sierra, Chevy Silverado, new, pre-owned, no matter what the case may be, whatever you're looking for, they'll help you at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You can check them out at FabryChevrolet.com or go see them on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. It's Fabry Chevrolet GMC.
Hey everybody, Drew Brees here. Over the years, I've learned that the best teams are built on trust, preparation, and doing things the right way. That's one of the reasons I'm excited to announce that the Breeze Dream Foundation and I are partnering with Parish Construction and Roofing. Together, we are committed to helping families prepare for hurricane season. That's why Parish Construction and Roofing, the Breeze Dream Foundation, and WAFB are partnering to provide one capital area family with a brand new fortified roof. Visit WAFB.com/contest to enter the giveaway and view official rules and eligibility requirements. Because stronger homes build stronger communities.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Thursday shows brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Chugging along here on a Thursday, working towards the weekend. The last time Tommy White, Dylan Cruz, and Nick Kurtz shared a field, our next guest called it one of the best nights of his life. That was in Omaha, Nebraska. Tommy White, a walk-off home run to beat Wake Forest and send LSU to the championship series. They would win that in 3 games. They'll share a field again tomorrow night. I don't actually know where that game is, but the A's will play the Nationals, and it'll be Tommy White's Major League Baseball debut. Been some really cool things in professional baseball for LSU over the last 4 months or so. To talk about that, we bring on Jay Johnson, head coach of the LSU baseball program. Coach, thanks for the time. How are you?
Doing great, Hunt. How are you?
Doing quite well. I want to go back to the recruitment of Tommy White. I know that you had a really good offense coming back, and you had Dylan, you had Trey, and Jordan Thompson, Dugas, Beloso. You had Joe Bear, a lot of really good players there. But White was a pretty special talent. What do you remember about hosting him and the feeling once you landed him? I think, as I recall, the story involves a breakfast in Baton Rouge.
Yeah. Totality of the whole thing was we were getting ready to play the regionals against or at Southern Miss. He went in the portal that Friday morning. No contact with him. Didn't know who his advisor was. Didn't have any travel ball connection. Somehow we ran down his number. I called him that morning. Agent was kind of like, yeah, I think you're a little late. I'm like, what do you mean we're a little late? He just went in the portal. Started conversations. Really the thing centered around developing him as a third baseman. And I, quote unquote, remember saying, hey, man, I don't care if you make 30 errors. You're going to play third base, and we'll make you a better third baseman. And then we got some traction because of that. And then shortly after that, I went down to Tampa and did a home visit. He had home visits on 3 consecutive days with, 2 other big programs. And we were able to get a visit maybe about 5 or 6 days after that. And you're right. He committed on the visit and breakfast of the second day. We still had a full day of good stuff together, and I crawled over the table at Ruby's Slipper and gave him a big bear hug. And I was thinking about that. That was just a little over 4 years ago. So been a pretty awesome 4 years for Tommy.
Yeah, you've seen some major leaguers come through multiple programs that you've been a part of as a coach. Tommy is a hitter. What do you think about him, and what has made him a guy that's now gotten to the show?
Well, he's certainly one of the best I've ever had, obviously along with Dylan. And I think for me is obviously it's tremendous power to all fields. I used to joke with people like when we had Tommy and Dylan, they hit the ball with authority so well to right center field. It was like I had the two best left-handed hitters that were actually right-handed I've ever seen. And just his ability to hit with power without having to sell out to the power, the elite bat to ball, with the violence of that swing is a combination you don't see very often. But then the separator is the competitor. I mean, you knew when he was standing in the box, that's where his focus was and all of his intent was.
He's going to share the field with Dylan Cruz on Friday at a big league level, and we've talked about Tommy there, obviously, but some people may not know that Dylan started this year in AAA. It's been a bumpy start to his major league career for Dylan, but he's played a lot better right before the All-Star break. I don't know if you've spoken with Dylan, but that's not something that I certainly could have forecasted, but he seems to have come out of it. What is your takeaway from Dylan's start to his big league career?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of time, just knowing the person, the competitor, the hitter. And I think when you're so successful like Dylan was, I don't think there was a bad weekend in 3 years at LSU, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe one, which probably included a home run in there somewhere. I think when guys perform that well for that long, you can lose track of, this game's really hard. And it's really hard when you're facing the pitching. And I'll give you an example of this. I was watching the All-Star game the other night, and I don't even remember who it was. Somebody was in the All-Star game hitting 237.
Yeah.
And that kind of sums it up for me of maybe some of it's the evolution and change in pitching and hitting, but it's really hard. And no matter how good you are, and Dylan is great, you're just not immune to some of it. And I go to bed at night very comfortable thinking that Dylan Cruz's success is always right around the corner.
I want to talk about a couple other guys from your program here in Baton Rouge and what they've accomplished on the pitching side in the first half of this year. Gage Jump has gotten up to the big leagues and just been awesome. He tied my Cubs in knots a couple weeks ago, and Cade's knocking on the door as well with Seattle. When you see that, what does it make you feel?
Yeah, a lot of pride. Obviously this past weekend with the draft, and it kind of hit me wow, we've had 5 years here, and we've had 5 players selected in the top 6 picks in the draft, over 5 years. It's exactly what you want to do. And, and coming here 5 years ago, it's hey, can we create or recreate, what Alabama football had been doing, what LSU baseball did in the 90s, and the championships are great, but those only come if you get great players. And that means, first round, close to ready-made major league players. And so, to have those guys, like you mentioned, and Gage was a second rounder, and I don't know that he's totally appreciated because he was only there for 1 year and it was between the 2 championships, but he's one of the best pitchers I've ever had. And I have had zero surprise at how quickly he's ascended to the big leagues and the success that he's having.
It's amazing to watch the success, and there are some more guys that are knocking on the door of the big leagues as well. I'm curious because you just got through a lot of these discussions with your high school signees with the draft coming up. You had professionals at Nevada and at Arizona, but the top 5 guys, the guys that are making $5-6 million, the guys that get to the big leagues so quickly, are you able to use that in these recruitments, or does it really just come down to the finances of a lot of these guys? How much do they listen to the fact that you've now coached Barry and Cruz and Curiel and Anderson and Jump and those kind of guys in Baton Rouge?
Well, I think in these discussions, I think a lot of coaches, they're selling a vision of what could be. Yeah. We're not doing that. We're saying, this is what this looks like. This is the path to get there, and here are the results. And I think that is very attractive, and I do think that mattered in terms of landing some of these guys. This year was far less PowerPoints, far less data, far less statistics, and just plain and simple, like, going to Derek, which is awesome. Like, I mean, this was the plan. Like, we and specifically he executed a plan that was put in place from the time we started recruiting him, and he did it perfectly. So we feel like we have a good feel for that. It's obviously the player that deserves all the credit and has the responsibility of getting themselves there. But there's no better place right now if you're an elite player and say, hey, I want to be picked at the top of the draft and have a short arc from the draft to the big leagues, that nobody's had more success at that than us.
I'll admit, I was sitting on the couch, had my story ready for our website for when Derek was drafted, and when he came off 5th, I said out loud, oh, like that was a little quicker than I thought he was going to come off. Did you have an inkling that was a real possibility that early in the draft?
Yeah, I did. I got called. The Pirates actually called me on Saturday morning and kind of laid out that if those first 4 picks went that way, they were going to pick either Derek or Drew Burress. But the conversation was centered around Derek, and just kind of some quick and last thoughts, and was really excited about that. So I watched those first 4 picks with like great interest because my thought was like, he was going to go in the top 10 no matter what. But like, wow, like we did it. Like, it's a 6-year journey from, junior high, when I first saw him, like looking at him on the internet during COVID, to national champion, top 5 overall pick. And no matter what, he always just finds a way to show up and be the best guy on the field. And I'm happy to see it, because you could maybe look at power or this or that, but it's really hard to argue with performance over his entire life. Like, there haven't been too many downturns for him.
He's a pretty good hitter. I would suggest that. Last one, Coach. We appreciate your time. A couple guys up on Cape Cod, Bino Waters and Dawson Park, made the All-Star team. They'll play in the All-Star game coming up this weekend. What does that say about those two guys and what they could be in your program?
Yeah, I'm actually up here right now as we speak. I saw Dawson and Cade Curlin play last night. Dawson looks like a spectacular defender. Cade hit a home run last night, and I'm heading over to Bino's game here later this afternoon, and excited about what they're doing. And I think we're going to like what all these players are going to bring to our program. So excited. It's been a good couple days, and excited to head over to Sacramento tomorrow.
I'm excited for the weather that you've got there. I'm assuming it's not 103 on the Cape right now?
It's very nice right now.
We'll enjoy that. We appreciate some time, and we'll catch up soon. Thanks, Jay.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
That's LSU head coach Jay Johnson talking about some of his pros and the guys to come. There are some really good players that are coming into this program, both from the portal, talking about Cape Cod All-Stars, as well as the guys that he was able to keep from the draft last weekend. The guy never stops. He leaves the draft, and then he's coming into to Cape Cod, and I guess the A's and the Nationals will be in Sacramento, so he'll fly out there for that, which, again, it'll be an awesome deal because Gage is there, and Dylan will be there, and Tommy will be there, so it'll be cool for him to get to be there and see that. Great night for Tommy White. As I mentioned, my crew's headed out of town, so tomorrow I'll be home solo, and I've got them. I'll be packaged to watch the Cubs. I'll flip over and watch Tommy's first at bat. I'm assuming when they call him up, he'll be in the lineup. You usually don't call up a prospect like that and then sit him on the bench for a week before they play. You call somebody up to play. And the A's also lost 9 in a row before the break. So I didn't know that until I did that story this morning on Tommy White. I went to look at what the A's were doing. They lost 9 straight before the break. So I think they need a little infusion of offense. Tommy should bring that. So huge shout out Tommy Tanks, and thanks to Coach Johnson for giving us a little time here on this Thursday. All right, when we come back, we're going to have some fun. We'll do that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
GoTro's Outdoor Power, GoTrosOnline.com. That's GoTrosOnline.com. Look, it is grass growing season. 103, rain. The grass grows quick. You got to maintain a property. You need that zero-turn mower. There is no better spot to get by than GoTro's Outdoor Power. 22 years in business, family-owned and operated. Go with the local team. You can buy a Hustler zero-turn mower from the big box store. You can do that. Will you ever hear from them again? I don't know. But I can promise you that they're not going to slap on an additional warranty, which they will at GoTro's. You can add 2 years or 200 hours to the manufacturer's warranty if you go with GoTro's, and they're the warrantor. So you get it from a local company. If you need that zero turn delivered, they got trailers for you. If you need parts, largest parts inventory in the state, and they got trucks on the road 8 hours a day, they can get those to you. It's the local difference. That's why we always tell you to shop local with friends at Gotros Outdoor Power. They're online at GotrosOnline.com. It's not by the 2 locations, Baton Rouge and Gonzales. Gotros Outdoor Power.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Raising Cane's is raising $1 million on National Chicken Finger Day for Chuck's charity, Kickstart Kids. Join us July 27th and help us continue Chuck Norris's legacy.
Chuck was a personal friend of Todd and the brand, and I know this would have meant the world to him.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Lockmere, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lockmere, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
We're brought to you by Lifetime Roofing. They're online at lifetimeroofingla.com. That's lifetimeroofingla.com. Go with a roofer you can trust. Go with a local roofer. Because oftentimes roofing companies can be a little bit presumptuous. They can go up there on your roof, take advantage of you. You may just need a repair and they can sell you a whole new roof because they can. That's never going to happen at Lifetime Roofing. It's a local Baton Rouge-based business with people from South Louisiana, and they understand that the nature of their work oftentimes is in a time of, call it crisis. Like when you've got a significant weather event, people can be displaced from their homes. People can have huge losses that are involved in things like hurricanes. And so what they think about what they're calling in terms of roofing is we're here to serve the community. So if you're looking for a company to come in and treat you the right way and do work the right way, Lifetime Roofing is who you can trust. They'll go up, they'll survey the situation. Maybe you need a repair. They can repair it. Maybe you need to fortify your roof for storm season to make sure that it's ready for storm season to come through. Or maybe you need a new roof and they can help you out with that. And if they do, then they'll offer you a lifetime workmanship warranty on that roof. It's Lifetime Roofing. Find them online at lifetimeroofingla.com. All right, we've had a lot of meat on the bone here for the last hour and a half, right? Jay Johnson just got off the phone with us here talking LSU baseball. We talked LSU running backs as well. We talked college football playoff expansion. Luke Johnson came on to talk about Alvin Kamara's new contract. I opened the show talking about LSU football's Nike Elite class with the 11 Tigers that have been included in that for this coming football season. A lot of meat on the bone, a lot of local storylines. This is not local. But I think it's entertaining. I think it's humorous to an extent. It's something that I actually enjoy paying attention to, and it's play-by-play. Y'all know that I don't care about soccer. I tried this World Cup. I gave it 4 or 5 games. It's just not for me. I'm thrilled it's for you. If you thought the last 4 weeks have been the coolest thing ever, that's awesome. I've enjoyed a lot of aspects of it. The videos on social media, people indulging in American culture, the takeovers of the cities by different countries, the nationalism, the pride. There's been a lot of cool stuff. I just don't care about the sport. But these 2 sound bites that I'm about to play from different countries with the World Cup really tickled me this morning. I just thought they were incredibly entertaining. The first one we're going to play is from the radio play-by-play voice of the Argentinian soccer team. He was on site in the semifinal against England as Argentina came back from down 1-0, scored the equalizer, and then took the lead. And what you're going to hear, and you won't understand any of, is the goal that put them ahead beyond the 90th minute that essentially sent them through to the World Cup final. Now, again, you're not going to understand most of this, so I will paint the picture of what happens while he's talking so you understand where we're going. It's tied 1-1. It's very, very late in the match, and Argentina pushes toward the goal. They're denied at one point. You hear his voice inflection go up. You hear the crowd react. They do not score. When you start hearing him say Messi, Messi, which you will hear, it's one of the few words I can understand in this entire thing, that's when Messi starts taking control of the ball. He crosses it in, and it's headed in, and then you hear him go absolutely bananas. I will tell you that this is probably better via video because this guy is on the verge of tears when this ball hits the back of the net. But I find this call to be incredible. I find it to be humorous. So listen, as they attack, they're denied. Messi corrals. He centers it in, and they score the goal that's going to send them through to the final. The voice of Argentina soccer.
Julián Álvarez, abierto Nico González y Argentina entusiasmado, embalado, con fe, vamos. Va Nico a buscar mano a mano, lo marca Conza, no deja atrás para Julián, viene para Julián, entrega para Enzo, va Enzo, abrió la cancha para Nico, va para Nico, mete por abajo, le queda Alexis, apuntó y paró, palo, va para Messi, Valeo, pegó en el palo, pero qué trasero que tienen, por Dios, ponerse otra cosa, viene Messi, Valeo, va Messi, mete el centro, ¡gol! Argentina, carajo, siempre hay que confiar, no termina hasta que no termina, no termina hasta que no termina, nunca hay que dejar de creer. Argentina 2, Inglaterra 1, Lautaro viejo hermano, Argentina en mi corazón estamos juntos, siempre juntos, Argentina 2-1, 47 minutos Juan Pablo, vamos Argentina todavía, no se puede tener tanto culo, lo hizo Argentina 2-1.
This guy is on the verge of tears, and when he finished that call, he's holding a mic. A lot of times play-by-play guys will have headphones on with the mic that just comes in front of the mouth, or maybe one that's pinned on. He's holding the mic, and he just dropped it right when he was finished with the call. It was Vamos Argentina. That was just electrifying. Now that is the electricity that comes with winning. This next bite really cracked me up, and you will understand every word, because this comes from Jamie O'Hara, who is with Talk Sports, which I don't know if it's a prominent video service in England. I don't know if it's a niche podcast. He's certainly more famous today than he was 3 days ago. But he's on after England is eliminated from the World Cup by Argentina. And he's not real thrilled with the coach of England. And he goes on this rant after they've been eliminated that for some reason the British accent is funny to us. The verbiage that he uses was funny to me. This is post-game. I host a post-game show. I understand the emotions after England eliminated from World Cup play, and he's not thrilled with the strategy of the head coach who decided to pull everyone back after they went up 1-0.
You can almost accept it. I know. You're playing against Argentina. Yeah. You can't sit off for 25 minutes against Argentina. No. He absolutely bottled it. Thomas Tuchel's cost us the World Cup. He cost us the World Cup. We're 1-0 up. Played well first half. All right, cagey affair. We go 1-0 up. Be brave. Be brave, Thomas. This is what we brought you in for. We brought you in for this moment. We got rid of Southgate because he bottled it, because he weren't brave. We brought you in for now to make that decision. We're 1-0 up in a World Cup semi-final. Bring on Rashford. Bring on Saka. And if they score, they score. But at least we're going to go down fighting. At least we're going to go down with some pride. We fell out of the World Cup in disgrace because of him. Because of him. And we brought him in for this job. This is what we brought him in for, to get us over this line. And it's the same old England, same old crap, same old guff that I have to watch every tournament that we're in. And it's the manager's tucked us up again. Tucked us up. We're dead on our feet. Got Morgan Rogers playing right wing, Jude Bellingham on the left. Brings on Nico O'Reilly. We can't get out. Harry Kane's done nothing. He's dead. Nothing. Got nothing left.
I don't.
I can't believe it, Jace.
Well, no.
Jace, I can't believe it.
No,
it's a disgrace. He should be sacked. Get him out. Gone.
I totally agree.
Oh, some of that verbiage is so good. He absolutely bottled it. He bottled it. Two different coaches bottled it. That has not come across the pond. Bottled it. I don't have that. And then he should be sacked. That's the word for fired. He should be sacked.
It's just choked. That's
Get
all.
him
Yeah,
out.
it's
Well,
just
I know,
choked.
I get
Yeah,
it, but he bottled it.
Bottled it.
Just incredible.
Hey, he was spitting though. Whatever when he said you should have put in Saka and Rashford when you needed scoring, you should have did that. So I feel him 110%.
Look, I don't know squat about soccer, but I understand what the Brits are upset about. They scored a goal and then they parked the bus and said, "Hey, we're just going to try to play defense for a long time
against Argentina."
And they're pretty good on offense, I'm told. Argentina scores a lot of late goals, is what I've been told.
And they have
about.
the greatest player of all time.
Yeah.
So
and guess what? He made him pay for that. Absolutely bottled it. He should be sacked. We got to bring that back to American sports talk here. Instead of fired, sacked. And there's multiple Brits that I've heard say that should be sacked after that one. I found that to be interesting. I found it to be fascinating. I chuckled at both of them this morning. I realized, trust me, if the Argentina one didn't play on radio for you, watch that guy. Go to Twitter or YouTube or wherever and watch that guy in person. I mean, he is on the verge of an absolute meltdown of tears in the best way. And then if you see him, there are guys in the press box climbing over him to hug each other. Everyone's going nuts back there. It's phenomenal stuff. And while I don't care about soccer and I don't understand the sport, I fully appreciate, 100% appreciate the passion that these nations have for this opportunity once every 4 years. Like that registers to me. If one of my teams only got to play once every 4 years, like I would be fully invested in that, obviously. And they've reached the end. And look, it's tough look for England to get up 1-0 and then bow out. So sack the manager is what my guy, what was his name, Jamie O'Hara, has to say at this point. All right, we're chugging along here. Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We will come back and close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. FABT.com. FABT.com. 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. They started up in 1910, 116 years later. They are still here, and they are growing. They've got the resources. If you're looking for a commercial loan, they can help you with that. Don't think, well, I'm looking for sizable loan here. I've got to go national. Check local. 25 locations. They've got the resources to help you out. And the decision makers are local. The people you deal with on a day-to-day basis are local. When you make a call to First American Bank and Trust, you don't get a call center in LA. You get someone in Southeast Louisiana, someone that you go to church with, someone that your kids play baseball with. That's First American Bank and Trust. 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. The resources to help you out with your commercial loan. If you've got a personal loan you want, First American Bank and Trust is happy to help you out with that. It's First American Bank and Trust online at FABT.com.
Hey everybody, Drew Brees here. Over the years, I've learned that the best teams are built on trust, preparation, and doing things the right way. That's one of the reasons I'm excited to announce that the Breeze Dream Foundation and I are partnering with Parish Construction and Roofing. Together, we are committed to helping families prepare for hurricane season. That's why Parish Construction and Roofing, the Breeze Dream Foundation, and WAFB are partnering to provide one capital area family with a brand new fortified roof. Visit WAFB.com/contest to enter the giveaway and view official rules and eligibility requirements. Because stronger homes build stronger communities.
Lockmair to Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lockmair to Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Every single cow at Sagrera Farms is a 3-year journey. It's strategic genetic mating. And then you've got a cow that's raised on grass, finished on grain, dry-aged 45 days, and it's prime. And they're not guessing. You have vets that come out and do the ultrasound. The standard for prime on the intramuscular fat score is 9. If you're just south of that, you're talking about choice, which is 60% of the beef out there. Below that is select, which is the bottom of the barrel. But prime has got to be 9. You're talking about cows on the farm at Sagrera Farms that are 12, 14, 18, double prime at Sagrera Farms. And you can have them at your home in the freezer. Fillets, ribeyes, strips, picanhas, flank steaks, skirt steaks, chuck roasts, ground beef. Change the way you do burgers. You can do that when you contact my guy, Sean Sagrera. Go visit the farm. You can see where he raises these cows just north of Baton Rouge. Top 1% in the country. There's 2 places you can get Sagrera Farms beef. Supper Club and the farm. Call Sean, 719-1723. That's again in the 225 area code, 719-1723. Get some of the best beef you have ever had in your entire life, and it can be right there at your home. So when it's time to hit the grill, whether it's summertime and you want to hit the grill or it's the fall, which is coming, and you want to have folks over to watch the games and eat some steaks, want to have that freezer full of Sagrera Farms Premium Angus beef. They bring you our Thursday shows each and every week. All right, busy show today. We got to finish it up. Let's do it with Take It or Leave It.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so one day before Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton intervened in the Brendan Sorsby legal battle, Texas Board Chair and mega booster Cody Campbell donated $275,000 to Paxton's Senate campaign. So Texas Tech caring about the gambling addiction was a gimmick. Take it or leave it.
I will take that.
I'll take it.
I've said many times, I don't mean to disparage those with addiction at all. I just did not find this case to be overly compelling, that he was so addicted to gambling in a previous life, but he had fixed it with a quick rehab stint, and now he can play quarterback.
Yep.
I just found it to be disingenuous. I found it to be unbelievable, and I just don't have any sympathy here. That's not to suggest that people aren't battling that day to day. I just don't buy it with Sorsby. It just never worked for me. Now, that may make me insensitive. It may make me shallow because I don't know Brendan Sorsby, but I just don't buy this Texas Tech defense, and I think what has happened here is correct. I just don't think you can bet on games your team plays in and continue to keep the competitive integrity of the sport if you're allowed to continue in it. I just don't find that. I think he broke a rule. There are consequences to a rule.
Yep.
The consequences are, see you later, go try pro football.
All right, so NFL legend Jerry Rice was at a golfing tournament when a random heckler screamed 4 right as he swung. Rice then proceeds to find the guy, chased him down, chased him down for heckling him. So heckling celebrities at a golfing tournament, take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave it. Look, I don't... golf's a weird deal because you can be as loud as you want at a hockey game, at a football game, baseball. Like, that's just part of the deal. But,
Yes.
like, you can greatly impact a golf tournament if you want to do it. You can get right behind a guy. I could impact the Zurich if they came back to New Orleans. I could get 8 feet from a guy, and right when he gets to the top of his backswing, just scream at him.
Oh,
and
really?
I would make, he would probably flinch. Like, you can do that. And I don't understand why people think it's funny. But then again, I don't really get the student section having to scream profanities after every time the band plays. People are entertained by sophomoric things, and this is something that I don't get the Baba Booey thing after a player hits a golf shot on TV. I just don't think it's funny or entertaining, and I don't think it's cool to heckle a guy playing in a golf tournament. But people think it's funny. It just is what it is. People have different senses of humor, and that one I just don't get. And I you're going to get kicked out of an event if you do that. But that's something that pro golfers have mentioned. Like, people can now bet on you and a score over under, and then go impact it if they can get close enough to you to make an impact on you. Like, you could throw something at a tour player while he's. I mean, you could.
Oh,
You'd get kicked out. You'd probably get arrested.
All right, I'm like,
but like,
what
if
in
you've
the
got
world?
money on it and you want to go out there and do that, like you
really could though. Yeah,
I can bring a tennis ball to a PGA Tour event, I'm sure, and like, if somebody's in his backswing, hit him with it. I mean, it's like I'm not saying that's happened before, but like,
it's possible though.
You can't. You would have a hard time impacting an NFL game.
Yeah, no,
you can
wouldn't even-
impact
yeah.
a golf event because everybody is quiet and still, and you can get very close to the golfers. So I just don't get it. I don't get why people think that's funny. But again, I don't get why college students have to scream profanities after every time the band plays. It just is what it is.
All right, so I know all week we've been on the NFL Top 100, but this one's different. Chris Olave comes in today at number 64 on the list.
The Saints.
Yes, Chris Olave. So notable receivers that he's ahead of right now are Teddy Rowe and McMillan at 87, A.J. Brown at 80, Zay Flowers at 71, Cortland Sutton at 68, and Drake London at 66. So is Olave right where he needs to be? Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. I mean, he and Drake London, I couldn't believe when London signed that deal, when I went and compared the stats from Olave and London, they are lockstep. I mean,
Identical,
it is
basically.
right there. So, yeah, I think that if it's right next to Drake London, that makes a lot of sense. He's a good player. He just got to be on the field. And I wish the Saints had someone who was at his level or better. And I think that there's a chance that they do. We'll just have to see it. But, yeah, I don't think anyone's ever suggested Chris Olave is not a good player. He's had some drops. Yeah. But most receivers do.
That Miami game.
And then he's had some injury concerns, and a lot of football players do. But when he's out there, he's pretty good. He's not 6'6". He doesn't run 4.35. He doesn't have a sick vert. But he makes catches. He gets open. And that's really the name of the game. So I'm good with it.
All right, so that's it for Take It or Leave It.
All right. Shout out to those who joined us for today's show. We packed a lot in over the course of 2 hours. I opened the show talking about LSU's players in the Nike Elite Blue Ribbon class and what that meant for those guys. There's 11 of them, and I think it's interesting the players that they picked and kind of the methodology behind that. Find that at Hunt on LSU on our YouTube channels. Luke Johnson came on to talk about Alvin Kamara's new contract. He'll be a Saint for life, and what does it do for the Saints? Luke wasn't wild about the way the Saints went about this. You can hear more about that at Hunt on Saints. I beg your pardon. Bill Connolly wrote a piece that I wasn't wild about, talking about the expansion of the college football playoff in relation to the World Cup. You can hear that conversation if you catch us on demand. Got you caught up on the Open Championship. They have finished up play there at Birkdale, so day one in the books. I'm going to go watch some highlights of that when we finish up here today. In-depth chart at running back. Can LSU run the ball this year? I think they will. I'll tell you why and kind of give you the who's who of that at the top of the hour from hour number 2. You can find that at Hunt on LSU. And Jay Johnson joined us from Cape Cod. He's seeing 3 of his transfers on Cape Cod this weekend. Then he's going to go to Sacramento to watch Tommy White and Dylan Cruz play. We talked to him about that. Had a little fun with World Cup sound bites in hour number 2. If you missed any of the show, catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Just search Hunt Palmer Show. That's it for us. Matt's going to drive you home on After Further Review. We're back tomorrow to wrap up the week with the Friday edition. The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, online at FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com. It's a great website. I tell you that a couple times a week. If you're looking for a new vehicle, looking for a pre-owned vehicle, and you know what you want, you can check out the inventory at FabryChevrolet.com and whittle it down by that. If you know what make and model you want and want to see which ones they have in stock, go. If you're not really sure, but you know you want an SUV, sort by SUVs. If you know you want a new car, sort by new, and then start working from there. If you know you want a pre-owned car, start with a pre-owned. Sort from there. In that case, you might be looking at mileages. You can sort on mileages. In any case, you're going to be looking at prices, and they allow you to shift the price range that you're looking for so that the cars that meet your criteria show up. It's all there at FabryChevrolet.com. So if you're looking for a new vehicle or pre-owned vehicle as fall gets upon us, you want to make sure you got that vehicle set up to get the kiddos to and from school, you can do it. Check them out on Highway 61 in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.